Hey there, and welcome to Art of JMel. I am JMel. So, recently I've been having a tad bit of trouble coming up with ideas for anything to draw. A lot of people call it art block or whatever. I call it just, I guess, not being motivated enough to draw anything. So, when I have a hard time coming up with any ideas at all, I usually default to monsters. I've always liked drawing monsters. Ever since I was a little kid, I've liked drawing them just because you can make anything up and it can be a monster. There's no anatomy, there's no definite shape, there's no definite form. It can be literally whatever you want and nobody can tell you that you did it wrong. That's why I draw them. So when I have a really hard time coming up with something to draw, that's usually my go-to thing. They're just easy, and it makes things easier for me because sometimes I just want to keep pushing forward with my art. I don't want to stop, and a lot of this art block nonsense frustrates me sometimes, so I just take it out on the paper and, as you can see, just draw a bunch of shapes and make the shapes into things. And I don't care if it looks good. I don't care if it even looks right. I mean, a lot of those monsters don't look right at all, but I feel pretty satisfied at the end when I finish them, even though it started from just nothing. So I'm just drawing a bunch of strange shapes, like this cute cat ghost thing that I came up with yesterday when I was also taking out my frustration on the paper. I really liked it. I feel like you can just draw a curved line anywhere, and then I try to make his body shape to that line, and I really like the goopy, drippy marks that I can draw for it because it's just it's just a really easy to do shape, and I feel like this little cat is probably gonna be one of my favorite things I've ever done. Yeah, but a lot of these monsters, they are just like this thing. I don't know what this thing is. I think I was going for an eel and it just looks so weird. I do like to add a lot of teeth to things, a lot of pointy teeth and curvy shapes. It's just, I grew up watching a lot of horror movies and stuff, so these sort of things have been just something I enjoy drawing, just for the heck of it. Also eyeballs. Lots and lots of eyeballs. I don't know what it is. I think a lot of artists can relate to eyes. I feel like that's the first thing everybody tries to draw. So, yeah, eyes. Eyeball creatures, flying eyeball things. You see them in video games, you see them in magazines, you see them in comics. They're everywhere. I guess the short answer to solving an art block problem is you either feel like drawing stuff still and you can't draw something, so you just have to draw something. It could be anything. Just make a shape. Draw something you're used to. I mean, go ahead and draw some eyeballs. I know all the artists draw eyes, so. And if you feel like you want to take a break, you're sick of drawing, you're not feeling it, then don't. I mean, your talent isn't going to disappear into the void. It'll still be there when you get back. I mean, last year I took a 6-month break from drawing because I wasn't feeling it. And I came back and what do you know? I still knew how to draw. So I did a lot of, pencil work here. You can see me penciling on all kinds of monsters. I just want to fill the page as much as possible with any weird blobby shape. I like rounded shapes more than pointed shapes when it comes to this sort of stuff, so I stuck to a lot of rounded off blobby blobs. And I like when they're stretchy or drippy or goopy, so that's really overused in this. I mean, this isn't any kind of finalized piece or anything. This really is just for me to do something. So I don't care if I overused drips, I don't care if I overused eyes, I don't care if anything's overused. Just I just had a lot of fun drawing this. I mean, if I'm having fun with it, maybe tomorrow will be a better day for me. Maybe I'll be able to draw something. Maybe something inspired me from this. I don't know. So I'm gonna do a lot of inking on this part. I really fell in love with using ink pens during 2017's Inktober. It was the first time I've ever done an Inktober, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. Only using ink. I mean, I didn't finish Inktober. It's overwhelming for me to do a month-long challenge. If you follow me, you know that I didn't finish February, and I didn't do really anything for March of Robots, so challenges they're fun if you don't know what you're doing or if you don't have any ideas, but for me, as soon as I see that I have to do a prompt or a challenge, I go somewhere else and do something different. But I really did fall in love with ink pens, ink wash. It was so much fun. More fun than I thought it was going to be. And I bought a ton, like Jake Parker, who came up with the whole idea of Inktober. He had this whole list of recommended supplies, and I bought a lot of them just so I could do it. And it was a lot of fun. Did I mention it was a lot of fun? Yeah, I think I said it was a lot of fun a few times. So through this inking process, I try to stay on my non-dominant hand side and work towards my dominant hand side from left to right. That way I don't smudge ink. I'm pretty sure this Tombow pen dries pretty fast, but just in case, I don't want to smear my hand across the page because then I have to get out my white ink or my paint pen and erase it somehow off the page, because even though this is just a piece to mess around with, I really want to try make some kind of effort to make it look decent. So if there's smudgies everywhere, I'm gonna try to get rid of them, and that can be very time consuming, especially if you do a big smear across your page, which I've done. Speaking of mistakes, earlier I tried to record a different video where I just drew the little ghost cat and I was going to color that in and work with that, but my phone said, guess what, you can't. So I lost all the footage I had from that one. I guess that was my first time losing all my footage. It wasn't as depressing as I thought it would but it was only, I don't know, I think it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes of footage. It wasn't that big of a deal. I was going to do a much shorter, cut down version of the video, but now you guys got this one, and it's longer, and you have to listen to me talk through the whole thing. Mistakes aside, I'm coming up on the finishing part of that whole ink line, and I just tear that eraser across that paper. I decided last minute to add color to this. I thought it looked kind of boring with just the outline, and I haven't pulled out those Prismacolor markers in quite some time, so I thought I would give them a run down across the page. I didn't go full color with these ones just because I wasn't feeling it. I don't have a good handle on how to use the markers yet, and I was going to use the markers, but then I got into watercolor and went watercolor crazy. But I decided just to do a kind of cool outline with everything. It works. I mean, even if the marker goes outside the line, it just kind of has this neat style to it, so I just shrug my shoulders and say, okay, we're doing this, and then I did that. See, art block's not so hard to defeat. You just have to do stuff, and things happen, and it works. Hopefully, I hope tomorrow's a better day. Just saying, guys. The days where I can't art are pretty rough. Yeah, if you think there's any rhyme or reason behind this color, there's not. I tried to keep different colors across the page. Like, I didn't want to put blue next to blues or reds next to reds, but I I mean, I kind of did it, but it was more or less just to separate the different types of monsters, because the cat one was just the one that I didn't want him to get confused with that eel. So I had to make sure that I colored all of his little bits all the same chartreuse color. And I don't even know if the shadows are right. They're probably not. Like I said, I really didn't care at this point. I just wanted to have fun with it. And I encourage you to just blob stuff on paper if you're having a hard time with your art, if it's frustrating you or something, just to do anything. It doesn't even have to look good. I have tons of sketchbooks full of stuff I don't think looks very good, and you learn from it one way or the other. You figure out how to put things together. You learn how to move past it. Aside from that 6 months I took off, that was just because I think I suffered some kind of burnout. That's what happens when you burn out. You don't want to art anymore. So I'm coming up on the last piece, which is this eyeball with some kind of stake in his eye. I don't really know. Maybe it's a needle or just a piece of wood. I don't know. And the last little bit is I just have to sign, because I sign everything, so gotta get my little signature down there. And that's the same signature I came up with when I was in graphic design class. And it's done. And I had a great time with it. See? Ooh, look at all the monsters. Close up. Dramatic pan. Looks nice. So what did you think of the video? I hope you enjoyed it, at least. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a like, and if you disliked it, go ahead and tell me why. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button or the notifications, because I try to post once a week, but I don't know if I can sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you're struggling, we got this.